Today, I'm going to take 8 vials of my own blood and add to that blood venom from 3 of the most potent pit vipers here in the United States. We have a medic that is going to stick me with a needle and draw out these 8 vials of blood. And right now I'm feeling very, very nervous and a little squeamish. And I might pass out during this process. Okay, here we go. Giving my blood for science.
Today we are at the Reptile Discovery Center, located in DeLand, Florida. This serpentarium is home to several of the world's most dangerous snakes. And earlier today, I assisted in milking the venom of 3 pit vipers that are frequently encountered in the eastern United States. The copperhead.
Oh, that was fantastic.
The water moccasin.
Gonna get musk on? Okay.
And the eastern diamondback rattlesnake.
Whoa! That was a serious venom yield right there.
Normally, this venom is sent to their med toxin venom laboratory, where it is turned into life-saving antivenom. But today, we're going to perform an experiment unlike anything you have ever seen.
Okay, crew is all set up. All right, guys, so today's experiment is going to show us what happens when snake venom mixes together with human blood. I've always been curious, what happens when a snake bites you and that venom enters into the bloodstream? So today, what we're gonna do is take 8 vials of my blood. We're gonna create a control, and then we're going to mix venom into 3 different vials and show you exactly what happens. I know, it seems like, Coyote, get to the point already. I'm only prolonging this because I'm so squeamish around needles. You guys have no idea how nervous I am right now. I could take bullet ant stings, I could take bites from giant desert centipedes. When it comes to sticking a needle into my arm, nothing makes my skin crawl more than that. We've got a medic on set with us, and she is going to safely draw out my blood.
I need you to just keep your arm very still.
Very still.
Don't jerk it back.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel like you're gonna pass out, tell me.
Okay.
If you get lightheaded or you start to feel really hot.
Okay. I'm already hot. I'm sweating bullets right now. Like, more nervous than I was for ants, centipedes, like, worst day ever.
Well, even hotter than you are right now.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, I can be ready.
1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Find a happy place. Find a happy place. Is this considered a lot of blood for one sitting?
This is an okay amount.
Just an okay
Certainly
amount.
not gonna harm you.
Okay. I'm gonna point the GoPro down at what this is to see what's happening. I can't look with my own eyes. I can't bear. I can't feel my arm. Like, should I be doing anything with my arm?
No. Okay, you ready?
For what?
I'm gonna take out the needle. Are you ready?
Yeah, is it out?
No.
Yeah, I'm ready. Ah! Oh my gosh, is it gonna like squirt blood if you... Oh my God, look at all those tubes of blood. Holy mackerel. But what we're gonna do now is head down the hallway, meet up with Carl, and move to step 2 of this experiment. Holy cow, look at all of these vials of blood. That is so much Coyote that is spilled out in the name of science. Okay, Carl, I am back with 8 vials of my blood. Now, we're only going to need 4 for this experiment, so I'll put these other 4 over here as a backup. And we've got the entire experiment set up. We've got 3 vials that contain copperhead, water moccasin, and eastern diamondback venom. Eventually, that blood is going to trickle down this board that we've created. But before we get there, let's talk about these venoms and why they're so potentially dangerous.
Okay, so Coyote, all 3 of these snakes cause you to bleed, cause you to hemorrhage. And hemorrhaging is dangerous for a host of reasons. Your blood doesn't clot, you're losing blood from your blood vessels, your blood corpuscles are being broken apart, your red blood cells are being lysed, they're not carrying oxygen to your tissues. They all cause you to hemorrhage. They do it a little differently. The mechanisms at work do it a little differently, but they all cause that significant bleeding coagulopathy problem.
Okay, man, that is complex, but sounds very painful at the same time. Obviously, a lot of pain is experienced with a bite from any one of these snake species. Okay, so I'm definitely going to put on my safety goggles for this part. I am going to open up this vial and expose the venom. Now, I have this one labeled Copperhead, and you'll see I also have a blunt-tipped needle. The reason for that is if this was sharp and I were to accidentally prick myself, that's just like a snake fang. What you don't want to do is envenomate yourself while working with venom. So I'm gonna just, oh man, makes your hand nervous just to pick up and hold what that is right there. That is some very potent venom. Now, Carl, I'm gonna need your assistance. If you can just tilt that a tiny bit until I'm able to get some venom. You think that's enough?
Yep.
That's probably more than a full snake bite right there.
Question.
Okay, so there is our Copperhead venom. Whew, one down. Our next one is going to be the water moccasin. Wow, look at that venom yield.
Gives you a sense of how dangerous cottonmouths can be, and part of that equation again is yield. That's 3 snakes, of course, but even still.
There we go. Ooh, that is a toxic little mix right there. Oh, got a little drip coming. Yes, okay, let's put that there. And now we are going to bring up the most potent of them all, the Eastern Diamondback. Woo, this is the big one right here. All right. There we go. And that right there would be enough venom to kill you, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Okay, so we've got our 3 syringes of venom lined up. Thank you, Carl. Whew, this is... keeping your hand steady is not an easy thing. Okay, so the first one, our green, is going to be the Copperhead. Okay. There we go. Dangerous little tube right there. Okay, moving on to the water moccasin, labeled yellow. Caution, water moccasins can be deadly. Definitely not a snake you ever want to trifle with in the wild. Admire these guys from a very safe distance. Okay, there we go. All right, that is moccasin venom going into my blood. And last but certainly not least will be the Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake. There's still a very, very dangerous syringe right there. There's still some venom residue. Okay, there we go. That is Eastern Diamondback venom going into my blood. Okay, well, let's take 15 minutes. We will return, and step 3 of this experiment will tell us exactly what happens from a visual perspective when you add snake venom to human blood. But I know a lot of you out there have said before, Coyote, you've been bitten and stung by so many things. Get bitten by a venomous snake. Now, Carl, I want to open up this conversation to you to say to everybody out there watching, how crazy is that notion of intentionally being bitten by a venomous snake? And just so we're clear, guys, I'm never going to intentionally take on a bite like something from a copper-headed water moccasin or rattlesnake. And tell us why this is so damaging.
Because insect stings and snake bites are very different things. And so insect venoms, to a large degree, evolved to cause pain. And basically what they're trying to do is get you away from perhaps their nest or something of that nature. Snake venoms evolved to immobilize and kill the food that they eat. And so snake venoms are destructive on a whole host of different levels. So you've got blood chemistry problems, you've got neurological issues happening, you've got cardiac issues happening, a depolarization of the muscle cells in your heart. You've got maybe all of these things: nephrotoxicity, myotoxicity, cytotoxicity, cardiotoxicity, neurotoxicity. A snake bite can be a very dangerous event. In fact, it can be a lethal event. And on a cellular level, it's catastrophic. It's nothing to be fooled with or taken lightly. There's no question about that.
Okay, it has been roughly 15 minutes that the venom has been percolating inside of my blood. And now's the big moment. What I'm curious about, what I know you guys are all curious about, what exactly happened to my blood with that venom inside? So the first thing that we're going to do is put on my safety glasses. Always important to have on safety glasses when you're doing science experiments. So we've got another blunt tip needle that is the control. That's the blood that's in here. And when I hold it up and look at it, yeah, that still looks super liquidy. So what we're gonna do is pull blood from each one of these vials, and I'm gonna make a little streak just like that on the top of this plexiglass board. We're gonna see what happens. Does it run down? Does it turn into jelly? We don't know, right?
It's gonna be interesting.
I guess we'll see. And I'm just gonna try to make a nice little streak across here. Just like that. Oh! What? That is some coagulation right there, isn't it, Carl?
See that coagulation? Yeah, that's great.
Wow. That looks like a zombie film right there. So, Carl, tell us what happened, because there was no venom in there, yet you got these chunks of blood that just looked like they vomited themselves down this plexiglass plate.
When you expose blood to oxygen, it's going to begin to clot.
Right.
And so that's what we're seeing there.
And that's healthy blood then.
Absolutely.
Healthy blood exposed to oxygen is going to coagulate. So for the most part, looks like I'm healthy. So now we are moving on to the copperhead. That is our green vial here. And I'm just going to give that a tilt left and right. Now, like you were saying, Carl, that anticoagulant makes this look like it's a whole lot.
Very hard to say if we're going to see anything to the naked eye, but I assure you what's going on in that tube right now, cellularly, is as we talked about earlier, catastrophic.
Okay.
So let's see if we can see anything with the naked eye.
Here we go. Copperhead blood coming up. Oh, wow, look at all those bubbles. I did not really see that on the control. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow, look at that. It's just dripping right out of I'm not even applying any pressure yet. And look at that. It's just dripping right out of the syringe. Wow. Whoa, look at that.
Boy, it's certainly the naked eye looks like it's less coagulation going on there, right? I mean, to the naked eye, I mean, that just ran down. Where now I saw a couple of little micro, maybe, clots in there, but to the naked eye, I don't know about what you saw, but
yeah.
Anyway, interesting.
That was blood running down that incredibly fast. I mean, just the pace at which it slid down and off the plexiglass, you can see that a lot of the blood here still left streaking. This was, yeah, look a lot. You can almost see the more watery consistency of it. So that's the blood cells breaking down and not being able to hold on to each other.
Again, to the naked eye, that's what it would look like.
Again, guys, we can't stress enough how the internal aspects of what's happening on a micro level, that if we had a super powerful microscope, we'd be able to see are happening. I mean, this is just explosions of blood cells and everything breaking down apart inside.
All those little cell walls are being affected. And
okay, here we go. Water moccasin. You can see there, the blood definitely looks very thin as well. Again, a whole cocktail of proteins and toxins that are just turning this blood into who knows what. Again, oh wow. So that's having trouble actually sucking the blood up into there.
More clotting in this sample.
There we go, okay. Now my glasses are fogging up. I'm doing my best to keep my hand steady, but even interacting with venom and blood definitely gets your heart rate going, that's for sure. That is my blood mixed together with water moccasin venom. And again, you can see that blood just wants to come out of the tip of the needle without me applying any pressure. It's just dripping out on its own. So I'm going to very slowly apply a little bit of pressure. There we go. Wow, look at that.
There's certainly some clots visible in that sample.
Oh, yeah.
More so than the copperhead venom.
That is true. Look at that. You can just still see all of that. It looks like a worm going down the side of the plexiglass.
But certainly the copperhead venom appeared thinner, and the cottonmouth venom in relationship to the control, tough to say, but maybe we're seeing some anticoagulant activity there. Maybe.
Okay, so here we go. I've got the eastern diamondback venom in my blood there. Top coming back off. There we go. Syringe going in. Again, guys, flat tip needles. Even if I were to prick myself with a needle with venom, that is just like suffering envenomation. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how thin that blood is. That pulls up way easier than the copperhead or the moccasin. Wow, look how watery that is. That's crazy. What does human blood look like once it's been envenomated with eastern diamondback rattlesnake venom? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there is a little bit of coagulation there. Wow, look at that.
Some significant clotting. And remember, on this one, Coyote, Eastern diamondback venom, we think there are both anticoagulant and procoagulant activity happening. But that's interesting.
Okay, well, there we have it. Between the control, the copperhead, the moccasin, and the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, visually across the board, it looks like there's quite a bit of difference, right? Even with the control, I don't see any speckling in the blood as compared to these three. But from your expert perspective, Carl, what is it that we're really seeing here? I mean, it looks like a horror film, but it's tough to tell with the naked eye.
Yeah. So, Coyote, you know, I think we need to point out that this experiment is a really crude experiment. You know, what we're seeing, we're kind of speculating a little bit and based a little bit on what we know about these given snake venoms. But this really needs to be done under a microscope in a really controlled setting where we don't have this time difference going on and we're not sure, you know, that the amount of venom being used is exact to get a real sense of this. But I think it's safe to say that what's happening here, whether or not we can see it with the naked eye, is serious, catastrophic damage on a cellular level.
And I think for everybody out there watching, not only did I hear you say that we need to do this again, which means there will be a sequel to this video, but that the big takeaway is the pit vipers in the United States have the potential to be very dangerous. This is not a species you would ever want to interact with in the wild. And for everybody out there that's asked, Coyote, will you get bitten by a venomous snake? The answer is no. You guys can see that this is, again, catastrophic. If you're bitten by one of these snakes, it is a medical emergency. And with all of our content, we want to encourage the viewers to admire these animals from a safe distance. Don't try to kill them. Don't try to catch them. Don't ever experiment with yourself to see what would happen if you tangled with one of these snakes.
I think that's an excellent synopsis. And hey, man, are you going to clean this up?
I will, yes. I will clean up all of the mess that I have made here in the lab, but for everybody out there watching who's wanted to see what would happen if Coyote Peterson was bitten by a venomous snake, there you have it, guys. My blood tangling with venom. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.
Every year around the world, people are bitten by venomous snakes. And it's probably accurate to say that each and every one of these bites happens by accident. Some species, like the copperhead, aren't likely to kill you, but a full-on envenomation from eastern diamondback is certain to take your life without the administration of anti-venom. Carl and Mara perform thousands of milkings every year, risking their own lives just in case you were unfortunately bitten by one of these slithering reptiles. Yet that doesn't mean you should be afraid of snakes. Almost all bites come as a result of humans trying to move, harass, or kill one of these animals. The best course of action is to always respect snakes from a safe distance, ensuring that you do not have a catastrophic interaction. If you would like to learn more about snakes and the power of their venom, make sure to visit the Reptile Discovery Center's website, where you can schedule a snake milking demonstration. If you love animals, make sure to search for the Brave Wilderness channel on YouTube so you can join me and the crew on our next big adventure.